morning, my dear children. How are you all? I hope everyone is fine. Okay. As usual, there is a small test for you, children. That is the questions from the previous class video. Please go through that video thoroughly, children, and then try to answer this question. Okay. That is, the first question is about who were the greatest kings among the Cheras. You have to write the greatest king, that is Cheras. And the second question is Cheras, Cholas and Pandyas were called dash. And the third question is the efficient king among the Cheras was. You have to write this answer for these three questions, children. Okay. Before getting into our today's class, children, there is a quick revision of previous class. Let us see what are the topics we have discussed. First, we have discussed about kingdoms of rivers, isn't it? In the ancient days, the country was ruled by kings, whereas now the country was ruling by government, isn't it? Likewise, in the ancient days, countries was ruled by kings. Likewise, we are going to see the kingdoms of river. In the ancient days, people first started to live in the forest. Slowly, they came to the land side. Then they shifted to the river side. Where they shifted to the river side, they produced their own food by the agriculture. And how is that? By rearing cattle in the pasture land. They have been producing the food for themselves. Likewise, the countries was shifting to the different rivers. We have discussed 4 kings, isn't it? We have discussed the 4 kings and the river banks. That is, the first king is Cheras. We have discussed about Cheras. The river bank of Cheras is Poigai, and Chola's river bank is Kaveri. Pandya's river bank is Vaigai. Pallava's river bank is Palar. First, we have discussed about the first king, that is Cheras. Isn't it, children? We have discussed about Cheras. And Cheras, Cholas, Pandyas were called as Moovendargal. This is the famous name for these 3 kings, that is Moovendargal. Cheras was ruled in the river Poigai. That's the bank of river Poigai, and the capital is Vanji. Cheras, Cholas, Pandyas, these are the 3 first kings. In that, Chera was the first king to rule the country. Likewise, the Chera controlled the districts of Erode, Tirupur, Coimbatore and Nilgiris. Kerala was also part of it. These countries was ruled by Chera. Chera country was also called as Cheranadu. Chera country was called as Cheranadu, whereas this Cheranadu was surrounded by mountains, that is high mountains. And also, children, the greatest king who is ruled Cheranadu were Imayavarman Nedunchelandan. He is a famous king, ruled Chera country. He has 2 sons. One is Sengutuvan, that is Cheran Chengutuvan, and the second son is Ilango Vadigal. First, the Chera king, that is Nedun Cheranathan, taken control up to Himalayas, and then he taken the control up to Himalayas. There, after taking the control, he hoisted the flag with the symbol of bow and arrow. This is the symbol and flag of Chera king. Whereas he taken control up to the Himalayas so that he got the title that is Imaya Varamban Nedunchelanathan. This is the title which is given to the Nedunchelanathan. Then next king is Cheran Chenguttuvan. That is after Imayavaramman Nedunchelanathan, Cheran Chenguttuvan will rule the country, isn't it? So this Cheran Chenguttuvan built the statue for Kannagi. This Kannagi statue was built by Cheran Chenguttuvan by the stones which is bought from the Himalayas after defeating the king Kanaga Vijaya. Because that is Nedunchelanathan taken control up to Himalayas, whereas this Cheran Chenguttuvan, that is son of Nedunchelanathan, Cheran Chenguttuvan, built the statue for Kannagi. To build the statue, he bought the stones from Himalayas. That too, he defeated the king Kanaga Vijaya. After defeating, he bought the stones from Himalayas to Cheranadu. Whereas to understand the detailed story of Cheran Chenguttuvan and Kannagi, that is Ilangovadigal. Ilangovadigal is a brother of Cheran Chenguttuvan. Ilangovadigal wrote the story that is Silappadigaram. If you read the Silappadigaram, you can know the detailed story of Cheran Chenguttuvan and Kannagi. Okay children, whereas Paditru Pattu, that is Paditru Pattu is a book which helps to know about the Chera kings. Then I told you the river which is covered by Chera is Poigai and the capital is Vanji and the port is Dondi and Musiri. This is the port Dondi and this is the port Musiri port, and the flag of Chera is bow and arrow. This is a flag and symbol. Is it clear children? Okay. This is the flag, that is bow and arrow. This is the flag of Chera king. Today the learning objective is you are going to learn about the second kingdom, that is Cholas. At the end of the lesson, you can able to know the famous king in Chola kingdom. Whereas in the Chera kingdom, the famous king is Imayavaramman Nedunchelanathan, then Cheran Chenguttuvan. These are the main kings. That is the greatest kings of Cheras, isn't it? Likewise, in Cholas, you are going to learn the greatest king, that is a famous king in Cholas. Let us see children. Let us move on to our content. Yes, today we are going to discuss about Cholas. The early Cholas kept Urayur as their capital along the river Kaveri and ruled it. That is the children. Chera's king was ruled in the river Poigai. Likewise here Chola kings came to the river Kaveri. Kaveri, that is the capital. Urayur, capital is Urayur and the river is Kaveri, where the Cholas king ruled in the side river, that is Kaveri. Uruthirankannanar, that is Uruthirankannanar of Kadayalur in his Pattinapalai describes that Chola Nadu is famous for rice. That is Chola Nadu Sorudaithu. That is children. The capital of Cholas is Urayur and the river is Kaveri. Okay. Then Uruthirankannanar. Uruthirankannanar is nothing but is a book writer. He wrote the book Pattinapalai. Pattinapalai is describes of two words, that is Pattina means city, Palai means desert. This is a book which is written by Uruthiran Kannanar. This Uruthiran Kannanar place is of Kadayallur. He lives in Kadayallur. This Uruthiran Kannanar written the story about Chola kings, that is book name is Pattinapalai. Okay, describes the Chola Nadu, whereas children, Chola country, that is Chola country was also called as Chola Nadu, whereas this Chola country was in the river Kaveri, isn't it? Whereas where they was shifting to the river Kaveri, this wherever the river Kaveri water flows, they will be the famous for rice. We can fertile the rice. So where this Chola country is famous for rice, so that they call as Chola country was called as Chola Nadu Sorudaithu. What it is? Chola Nadu Sorudaithu. Okay. Is it clear, children? What is the capital of Chola? Yes, it is Urayur. What is the river? It is Kaveri. Who is that Uruthiran Kannanar? Yes, he is a poet who written about Chola kingdom. That is book name is Pattinapalai. Pattinam means city, Palai means desert. Whereas this Pattinapalai book describes about the Chola country. Whereas this Chola country was famous for rice. Whereas they were living along the river Kaveri. So that they were famous for rice. So that the Chola Nadu was called as Chola Nadu Sorudaithu. Okay. Now, the Chola kingdom comprised the districts of, that is the Chola kingdom that taken control under the districts of Tiruchirappalli, Tanjavur, Pudukottai, Nagapattinam, Tiruvarur, Peramballur, Ariyallur and Kadalur. These are the districts which is under the control of Chola kingdom. These are countries which is ruled by Chola kingdom. What are the districts? First one is Tiruchirappalli, Tanjavur, Pudukottai, Nagapattinam, Tiruvarur, Peramballur, Ariyallur and Kadalur. These are the districts which is under the control of Chola kingdom. Clear, children? Okay. The land of Cholas was fertile. Fertile means where this Chola kingdom was in the river Kaveri, so that they can fertile many things, that is mainly rice, so that the land was fertile due to the river Kaveri. The kings ruled by providing justice to their subjects. The kings ruled by providing justice to their subjects. The greatest ruler among the Cholas was Karigala Cholan, who was also called Karigala Peruvalathan. Do you understand anything, children? Whereas in the Cheras, famous ruler is Imayavarman Nedunchelandan, isn't it? Whereas here in the Cholas, the famous, that is the greatest ruler in Chola king is Karigala Cholan. He is the greatest ruler in Karigala Cholan. His name Karigala Cholan was also called Karigala Peruvalathan. This is the another name for Karigala Cholan. The greatest ruler among the Cholas was Karigala Cholan, who was also called Karigala Peruvalathan. Karigala Cholan was also called Karigala Peruvalathan. Okay children, he is also called Karigala Peruvalathan. Look at the picture children. He is the Karigala Cholan. Okay, he is called Karigala Cholan. He is also called Karigala Peruvalathan. Karigala Cholan took the responsibility of a king at a very early age and ruled efficiently. That is, Karigala Cholan took the responsibility of a king. That is, children, Karigala Cholan took a responsibility of a king at a very small age. He became a king at a very small age, whereas his very small age he became a king and he was very efficient to rule the country. That is, he was very efficient to rule. Then when he was very young, he was captured by his enemies and imprisoned. That is, children, this Karigala Cholan took the responsibility of kingship at the very small age. He was captured by his enemies and imprisoned. That is, when he was very young, he was captured by his enemies and imprisoned. Imprisoned means, that is, this Karigalan was kept in prison, that is jail. He kept in prison. Why? Because he was ruling the country in a very small age. And also children, he was very small, but also he was very efficient to rule the countries, so that the enemies was captured the Karigalan and kept in prison. That is, imprisoned means he kept in the prison. Then the room in which he was arrested was set on fire. That is, children, the Karigala Cholan was captured by the enemies. That is, enemies, where he was arrested in a small room. Then this enemies has set a fire, whereas in this fire accident his feet burnt, whereas this enemies set a fire in his room, whereas his feet burned. Due to his charred leg, he was called as Karigalan. That is, charred means, that is, the leg burnt and become black-ended. This is the meaning of charred. Charred means burnt and black-ended. At the end, the feet was burnt, then it became black-ended. So that, children, he was called as Karigalan. Clear, children? Karigala Cholan took the responsibility of a king at a very small age, whereas he was very small. He was very efficient to rule the country, so that it became jealous to the some people, so that he was captured by his enemies and kept in prison, where he was kept in the room. The enemies were set on a fire. In the fire accident, his feet burned, so that his feet become burned due to his charred leg. Charred means, that is, the feet was burned and become black-ended, so that he was called as Karigalan. At a very young age, he disguised as an old man and tactfully justified a case, where I told you, children, the Karigalan was very efficient to rule the country in a very small age. This is the situation that at a very young age he disguised. Disguised means to change the appearance. When he was very small, he changed the getup of as old man. He changed his getup as old man, and whereas in the olden days there is no court, no police, nothing. Whereas now we have the court for the judgment, or we have the police, isn't it? Whereas in the ancient days there is no court, there is no police. Only the king will punish it. Whereas this king, that is Karigala Cholan, changed his getup as old man and justifies a case. That is, disguised means he changed appearance as old man and tactfully. That is tact. Tact means being careful not to say or do anything that could upset someone. That is, he was very small. He changed his getup as old man and he justifies a case that not to hurt anyone. He was being very careful by judging the case. Then the Cheras and Pandyas. Cheras and Pandyas together attacked Karigalan. That is, Karigalan is a Chola king. Karigalan at Venni or Vaiparandalai. Attacked Karigalan at the place Venni or Vaiparandalai. Finally, Karigala Cholan defeated the two rulers there and was victorious. That is, children, Chera's king and the Pandya's kings together attacked the king, that is Chola king Karigalan, at the place Venni and Vaiparandalai. What it is? Venni Vaiparandalai. And finally, children, this Karigala Cholan defeated the two rulers. Who is the two ruler? That is Cheras and Pandyas. Karigalan defeated this two ruler and Karigalan won at the game. Then he invaded Sri Lanka and bought the captives from there to build the dam Kallanai across the river Kaveri. That is, invaded means he entering the country to occupy the country. Whereas he invaded Sri Lanka, whereas this Karigala Cholan entered the country Sri Lanka and bought the captives. Whereas, children, in the ancient days, if the king won at the fight means they will bring some peoples from their countries to their countries. From other countries, they will be bringing some peoples to their countries. In the olden days, if they won some other places, whereas this Karigala Cholan has won Sri Lanka and entered into the Sri Lanka place, and then Karigala Cholan bought some peoples to their countries. In the ancient days, they will be doing like this, children. When he bought some peoples from there, why? Because by keeping that people, he built, that is Karigalan built the dam Kallanai across the river Kaveri. Still this Kallanai dam is in existence, children. The dam still, this is the river, this is the dam Kallanai, children, and this is the river. Across the river Kaveri, this Kallanai dam was built by Karigala Cholan. Clear? The dam still stand the dam still stands strong even after 2000 years of its construction. Whereas children, this dam was built by Karigala Cholan, and whereas still this dam remains strong. Whereas look, the construction becomes 2000 years. This Kallanai Dam is also called Grand Anicut. Kallanai Dam is also called Grand Anicut. This dam was built by Karigala Cholan. It becomes 2000 years. Still it remains stronger. Now we are going to see the quick of Cholas. What is its river? What is the river of Chola, children? The river is Kaveri and the capital is Urayur. What it is? Urayur. This is the river Kaveri, and the second one is capital. Capital is Urayur. And the third one is port. The port of Chola kingdom is Kaveri Popattinam. Kaveri Popattinam. This is the port of Cholas. And the flag of Chola king is tiger. This is the symbol of Chola. Whereas in Cheras it is arrow and bow, isn't it? Likewise here the flag of Chola is tiger. Clear, children? Okay. Now let us know about the Kallanai Dam. We are going to discuss about Kallanai Dam. Who built this Kallanai Dam, children? Yes, it is constructed by Karigala Cholan. Kallanai was constructed by the Chola king, that is Karigala, in the 2nd century, that is BC. BC means before Christ. Look at the picture, children. This is the Kallanai Dam. This Kallanai Dam was built by Chola king, that is Karigalan, in the 2nd century. It becomes 2000 years of construction. Still this Kallanai Dam remains strong. Then this is said to be the world's oldest dam still in use. That is, children, this is the world's oldest dam. Still it is remains strong and still it is in use. So that then stones and lime mortar were used to build it. This is the picture, children. This is the stone and lime mortar. This is the name. By using this stone, this Kallanai Dam was built. Who built this? Yes, it is built by Karigala Cholan. It has been 2000 years. Where it is built? It is built across the river Kaveri. Is it clear, children? Okay. There's a quick recap for you, children. What we have discussed about? We have discussed about Cholas. Cholas, who is the famous ruler of Chola? Yes, it is Karigala Cholan. What is the capital? Yes, Urayur. And the river Kaveri. Good. Uruthira Kannanar is a poet who wrote about the book Pattina Palai. He wrote about the Chola king, whereas this Chola country was also called Chola Nadu. What it is famous for, children? It is famous for rice. So that this Chola Nadu was called as Chola Nadu Sorudaithu. What are the districts ruled by? This is the river Kaveri and the capital is Urayur. The port is Kaveri Popattinam. Kaveri Pompattinam. And the flag is tiger. Then districts. What are the districts controlled by Chola king children? Yes, first one is Tiruchirappalli, Tanjavur, Pudukottai, Nagapattinam, Tiruvarur, Perambalur, Ariyallur and Kadalur. These are the districts which is under the control of Chola kingdom. And the greatest ruler among Cholas were? Yes, Karigala Cholan. Karigala Cholan was also called Karigala Peruvalathan. Karigala Peruvalathan. Karigala Cholan took the responsibility of king at very small age, whereas he was very efficient to rule the country, whereas his enemies were set a fire on him so that his feet became burnt, so that he called as Karikalan. At a very young age, is dressed up and old as an old man. Then he justified a case by not hurting someone or anyone. He justified a case by changing the getup as old man. Whereas the Cheras and Pandyas together attacked the Karigalan at Venni and Parandalai. Here Karigalan has won the victories and he took control up to the Sri Lanka, and there he brought some people to his Chola king, so Chola kingdom. Then by using that people, he built the dam, that is Kallanai Dam, across the river Kaveri. Whereas children, this dam still remains strong even after the year 2000 years. Okay children, there is a small assessment for you. I want to know how far you have understood. That is river Kaveri Popattinam, capital tiger, port Kaveri, flag Urayur. You have to match up this children. Match up and write in your social note. Okay. Along with the assessment children, there is a small homework for you. The first question is, who were the greatest Chola king of the ancient period? And the second question is, name the capital and part of the Cholas. These are the two questions children. Write the assessment as well as homework in a social note children. Try to answer on your own. If you have any doubt, please go through that video and try to answer on your own. Thank you children.